Exercise is really important, and so is going to the gym, but I have this amazing talent where I can come up with so many reasons why I can't go to the gym. I'm too busy, the gym's too far away, the gym is too busy, it's expensive, do I really need a gym membership? And as I'm thinking up all these reasons, really what I'm discovering is I'm just not being completely honest with myself. By the way, I'm Mike, I'm a fat guy trying to not be fat anymore by making lifestyle changes like moderate calorie deficit, sustainable habits, prioritizing protein, and of course, adding more physical activity to my life. And I started out this first half of the year just doing walking and really low impact cardio. But lately I've been trying to combat any muscle loss and actually build muscle. Really the goal right now, what I'm trying to accomplish is what's called a recomp. And that's where you build muscle while you're losing fat. Your body recompositions. So of course that means me hitting the gym, trying to help me build muscle and will again maintain muscle mass and improve my metabolism all along the way. But with that comes the opportunity to create excuses, and I get it. Life can throw curveballs and can bring on all sorts of roadblocks on why I can't get started with one of these 3 keys to success, which again, 3 keys to success, this is the activity. But I have to remind myself that everybody deals with these curveballs. So here are some of the top reasons or excuses that I was telling myself why I can't go to the gym, and some of the resolutions that I found along the way trying to beat that. So looking at some of these common excuses, number 1, the most common I would say is no time. This is probably the biggest reason for most of us out there, especially if you have a family, kids, a busy job. And the thing is time is a resource that we all share equally. We all have 24 hours in a day, and it's how you choose to use those hours really that matters. It'd be really cool if we could magically have extra hours, but the reality is it kind of would look like sacrificing quality time with your family or not doing other meaningful things to you. But rather, it's really trying to make a focus and a priority to making your fitness journey happen. Because we all have responsibilities, and it can feel like those responsibilities are eating up time that we'd rather spend doing other things. But it's important to recognize that investing time into your health is one of those responsibilities, and it's one of the most meaningful investments you can make, especially if you're somebody like me who started the weight loss journey close to 300 pounds and now lost almost 50. Changing up my priorities was one of the things that got the progress going so far. And I think about it like this: when you're healthier, you're more energized, you're better equipped to handle everything that life throws at you. So it's not as much about finding time, it's about creating it. Maybe that means waking up a bit earlier, or cutting down on screen time, or really reevaluating the time that you spend in the evenings, or I guess just the wasted time. I did a bit of a time audit and I found I was actually wasting quite a lot of time. And then ultimately it comes down to discipline and mindset. It's about realizing that dedicating time to your health is a choice, and really a worthwhile choice at that. And maybe you are not like me and you really are one of those people that are very short on time. Well, I have good news for you. You don't need multiple hours every day in the gym to make progress. From what I found, short, intense workouts can be incredibly effective, especially high intensity interval training is a prime example of that. In just about 20 to 30 minutes, you can get your heart pumping, muscles working, and burning calories. And it's not just limited to HIIT or, some higher intensity cardio, which depending on where you're at in your journey might not be the right solution. You could also do full body workouts, and again, about 20 to 30 minutes by prioritizing compound lifts, or even do body weight exercises with a certain amount of intensity to them. Again, compound lifts are things like squats, deadlift, bench press, and body weight exercises, I'm talking about calisthenics with kind of a HIIT mentality to it. Plus, finding pockets of time in your day can be surprisingly doable. Maybe it's during your lunch break, or maybe you've got a short amount of time after work that you can hit a quick gym session in. It's all about maximizing the time that you actually have. So those are the things that help me debunk that no time belief, because really what I came to is every minute counts on your fitness journey. Number 2 excuse that I was coming up with is gym memberships are too expensive, or I simply don't need one. Now, it's true that some gym memberships can come with a very hefty price tag. Equinox. I've never been to an Equinox gym, but they look really nice. But pretty much whenever you put luxury on any sort of service or product, it's going to get a lot more expensive. But not all gyms come at that crazy cost. In fact, I looked it up. The average gym membership in the US ranges from about $20 to $60 per month. But instead of looking at it like an expense, like going to the movies or getting coffee, I like to look at it more of an investment in my health, well-being, and future. I imagine it like if there were a company that could improve my mood, increase my energy, get me better sleep, and have a healthier overall body composition and, confidence, wouldn't I invest in that company or that pill that could give me that thing? The answer is absolutely. And the cool thing about a gym membership is, yeah, sure, you got to do a lot of other stuff. Nutrition always comes first. That's why when our 3 keys of accountability, nutrition is above activity. But assuming you're going to show up to that gym, you're going to be paying a small fee for a lifetime of priceless benefits. But maybe you really don't want to go to the gym. And the good news is I had an answer for that too. In fact, for me, I did have a gym membership for a little bit of time, but for the most part, I have been going to the gym in my apartment. Meaning the apartment building that I live at has one of those free little mini gyms. It's actually not a mini gym because this apartment complex is pretty huge and this gym is massive behind me. But the good news is I found out I don't need fancy gyms to make progress. I found an option that was really convenient for me with this apartment gym, but there are a world of opportunities for everybody right outside your door. I mean, you could do walking, you could do some jogging, you can do biking, swimming. I mean, there's a lot of things that you can do for that low impact cardio or just, that steady state, get your body moving stuff. There's also body weight exercises like push-ups, squats, or lunges. And you can even use your surroundings and even the park for like push-ups on the bench. So that way, if you can't really do a full body push-up, you can do something to where you're leaning, getting a little bit less resistance for that training option. And all these can be really powerful tools for also building muscle, but really what we're looking at is trying to shed fat, which comes with that calorie deficit that you can increase that deficit by having more activity. But the bottom line is you don't need a hefty investment or spend a bunch of money at a gym to get started and to see improvements. It's more about changing your mindset and getting creative and utilizing what you actually do have and reaping the immeasurable rewards that come with regular physical activity. So let's put aside the notion that gym memberships are absolutely necessary and they're expensive, which, depending on where you're at and, how much they do cost locally, they could be pretty expensive. But recognize that lifelong value comes from just making your body move more and getting that physical activity up. And you don't necessarily need to go to the gym for that, but it shouldn't be an excuse for you not to get started in the first place. All right, the next excuse, or at least the category of excuses that I kept coming up with for why I couldn't go to the gym, really center around what I would call self-consciousness. Now, I can say with personal experience that it's completely natural to feel self-conscious when you're starting something new, like going to the gym. For me, I built up a lot of these expected to be uncomfortable situations and interactions playing through my head before I even got to the gym. I didn't particularly like the idea of a large group of people watching me work out, or at least looking at me like,
oh, what's the big guy doing at the gym?
I had this idea that I probably wouldn't be accepted or that I would feel awkward or look funny trying to perform these lifts.
Bang! That's it. Oh, yeah, you bet.
Especially with, being a big guy, you would think that I'm super strong, right? I mean, big guy. But the reality is, even if you're a big guy, you still got to start somewhere. I was so nervous and intimidated to be stepping out of my comfort zone and to be kind of vulnerable. I don't know about vulnerable is the right word, but be in the gym where people could see me, which makes me feel vulnerable. But then I realized that's exactly where the magic of growth happens, when you step outside of your comfort zone. In fact, embracing discomfort is a huge part about growth and progress. Because growth and progress and change all come from pushing yourself beyond what's familiar. That's where the real transformation happens. Now, I say embrace discomfort or abandon comfort, but the idea that everyone around me would be watching me doing these workouts really was, like I said, pretty intimidating and made me self-conscious. Having that thought of what's somebody like you doing here is a real thing. But the truth is, most people don't really care about you. Most people are wrapped up in their own journey, focused on their own goals, their own workout routine, their own, got their headphones on and just doing their own thing. Majority of the time, nobody cares. And on the flip side of that, if they did care, it doesn't matter. Their opinion of you is not nearly as important as your goals. People at the gym are there for usually the same reason, to better themselves. They're not scrutinizing your every step or your workout routine or how you do this lift or exercise. The reality is most folks are too busy with their own workout, checking their own form, counting their own reps, and listening to their own playlists. So unless you're doing something like this, or you're just acting crazy in the gym, most of the time people are just going to ignore you, or they're going to be, again, focused on their own thing while you're focused on your thing. So while those initial feelings of self-conscious are absolutely normal, remember that the gym is a space for everyone to work on themselves without judgment. So I decided I needed to embrace that initial discomfort because on the other side lies the progress that I'm aiming for. And the same goes for you. As you continue to put effort in, you'll find that those feelings of self-consciousness naturally fade away and they're replaced with a sense of accomplishment and newfound confidence. There's always a way, there's always a solution that suits you and your unique journey. Remember, every step counts, every effort matters, and embrace the possibilities, embrace discomfort along the way, and conquer those weight loss goals. You got this.